everybody to Relentless Talk Radio. This is episode 35, segment 3. This is the art and fashion episode this week, and we're talking to Mike. And Mike, am I saying your name correctly? Is it Oleskow?
It's Oleskow.
Oleskow.
So I tell people just to say, "Oh, let's go."
I did a Dale Carnegie course at one point, and my I won't even tell you what the story was, but it was my second married name was Ottaviano, and they would say Michelle Pfeiffer on top of a piano is how they were. So every time someone does a name game with me, I think of that. I'm no longer Ottaviano, but I'm back to be Micalizzi, but that's the way that goes. I have to find a name game for Micalizzi. So tell everybody who you are and what your business is.
Okay, so I am Mike Oleskow. I am the cultural curator or the art curator at the Foundry Phoenix Hotel.
Which is literally right down the street from me. I'm over by the Phoenix Art Museum now, and I walk over there regularly for happy hour. It's fantastic. The restaurant there is fantastic.
Yeah, we have a great happy hour, great restaurant. Our chef, Orlando Parker, is really knocking some food out of the ballpark. I mean, terrifically amazing food. We're right at the northwest corner of Central and Portland, right at the Roosevelt Row Arts District light rail stop. So we're right in the heart of downtown Roosevelt Row Arts.
And is that why art is so important to the Foundry? Is it the location, or did you guys choose a location and then make art important, or is it one of those kind of synergistic things that just kind of happen? Why is art so important to the Foundry?
Well, I think it was synergistic. The owners had found the hotel, and then they decided that they wanted to do an arts hotel. And since we're in the Roosevelt Row Arts District, it makes sense. So the art, as far as how we actually figured it would be, is it's an art gallery. So all the artists are Arizona-based artists, mostly are Phoenix Metro, and the beauty of it is all of the art's for sale. So we've just added one big gallery to downtown Phoenix to buy art.
And it actually really is one of the largest galleries in the Phoenix Art District area. I mean, you've got a huge lobby area. You've got several hallways. When you first walk in, there's fantastic art behind the front desk. There's art throughout the lobby and throughout the dining room. Plus, you have an additional gallery on the other side of the pool.
Right. We've got art all throughout the public spaces and even in our 104 guest rooms. So art plays a major part within the hotel. I would say art is the soul of Foundry.
Well, it's absolutely, and it's such a pleasure to walk in as an artist to see that, but also as a professional. It's just smart business to have local art in your space. It just makes perfect sense to me. So what's the biggest lesson that you think you guys have learned as you've developed the arts community and developed the arts presence of the Foundry in Phoenix?
Well, I think the lessons continue. We're constantly learning. But as we were the first truly art boutique hotel downtown, we're kind of the ones now to emulate. But I'm always constantly looking to try to push the envelope a little bit further, whether it be 2D arts, 3D arts, video arts like we have on our 40-foot outside video screen. So that's kind of the goal now, to trying to keep it fresh and innovative.
But and I think that you guys are constantly pushing the envelope. But you just recently added a beautiful mural by Lucretia Torva. That I was admiring the last time I was in there for something to drink. I went for a walk and we got dehydrated and stopped in for something to drink, and I was just marveling. She's just a master at perspective.
Yes, her mural of the knives that's right at the hostess stand of the Match restaurant is just incredible. It even looks better when you view it through your camera lens. The other one in the lounge is also by her, and that's kind of a breaking through the wall, and it's a scene of Monument Valley.
Oh, she's just fantastic. She's one of my favorite artists in the Valley, quite frankly. She's very good. So the topic this week is about when, I'm right now going through a period of resting, reevaluating, and redirecting my sales. Have you professionally and personally, I guess professionally and personally, what has your experience been with reevaluating and resetting your sales? I'm sure you've had do a little bit of that with Foundry, right?
Yes. So this is a continuum. I think I've done this so many times in my life. I mean, I did it in my business life when my partner and I had a manufacturing gift greeting card company, and we decided we were going to stop manufacturing and then just license our image to other people. So essentially, I worked myself out of a job. And then it was like, well, what are you going to do?
Right.
So I said, you know what? I've always wanted to go to cooking school. How about I do that? And my partner was great. He said, do it. And I have to tell you, Michelle, that it was the best thing I've ever done for myself. People ask, are you going to open your own restaurant? And it's like, no, I'm not. I've already had a business that can be almost a 24-hour endeavor, but a restaurant is really difficult.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I admire anyone who does it and can keep it going. But here's something that happened kind of recently to me, and um, not one to really disclose a whole lot about myself personally and especially health issues. But a while back, I thought I was going to be the poster child for skin cancer. I thought, okay, grew up on the Jersey beaches, got lots of tans, sunburns, blah, blah, blah. Come out here in Arizona, strong sun. But recently I was diagnosed with prostate cancer.
Wow.
Yeah, thanks. And that was one of those, oh my God, how'd this happen? And I wouldn't like so many people that, oh, cancer's for other people. I don't get that. And when I was told that, yes, you have a cancer in your prostate, I was totally befuddled. So it took me a while to kind of wrap my head around it. I'm in the treatment now, and I've got great treatment care. And so now I'm finally being able to talk about it. So it's one of those things that, yes, it happened, but it's not going to stop me. So this is just a new kind of setback and challenge, but it's just something else to overcome. And then
You know,
yeah, please.
I'm so grateful that you're sharing that, because there's so many people that, my father has lymphoma, and 12 years ago they told him he had 5 years to live. Well, he's been kicking lymphoma's ass for a while, but when you get a diagnosis like cancer, it takes over your life in a way that you couldn't possibly imagine. So I thank you very much for sharing that with us. And thank you very
Oh,
much for continuing to stay dedicated to the arts in the midst of all of that. That's huge.
well, that's my passion. I love the arts. I love downtown, and it's kind of what makes me go. If somebody said, what's your choice? Would you go live in the country and blah blah blah, quiet and peace? I said for a day or two, but I'm a downtown guy. I
Right.
need that stimulation.
Yeah, the energy of the city. I love being downtown
Definitely.
personally, and I also, will never not have art be part of my life as an artist, but also an advocate for fellow artists, because I think that we have to stand up for each other and shout out the fact that there is art in Phoenix, that there's amazing art in Phoenix, and some of the best artists I've ever seen after spending 10 years living in Manhattan, have gone to art school 3 times. Some of the best artists in the world are here in Phoenix, and and guess what? The art is for sale. Art is
Exactly.
open for business in Phoenix, and artists have mortgages, they have car payments, they have children, they need to sustain themselves with food, water, and clothing. And unless you buy local art, those things don't happen. And so you have a lot of artists that aren't able to make the work that the world really deserves, because they're busy doing other things to keep a roof over their head, where really there should be more. If you're going to buy art, don't go to Walmart or Target or some other place where you can buy a print. Go down to the Foundry and look up Mike and find out which local artists you can support, because there are lots of artists here in Phoenix that deserve your support. And your home feels and looks, and your business feels and looks much different. When you walk into the Foundry, it's a completely different look and feel than many hotels. We were just in Santa Barbara. We stayed at a beautiful resort our last day, but they did not have original art in the rooms. And to me, it just pisses me off. You have a multi-million-dollar organization that could buy whatever they want. They should have local art in the room.
You're so singing my song with this, Michelle. When we were first opening the hotel, the management team said, so what are you going to do about the art? And I said, oh, it'll be all local artists. I said, we've got great talent here. I know quite a few of the artists. And they said, well, what about other cities? Like LA and San Francisco and Santa Fe, you name it, they were asking. I said, yeah, they've got great art, great artists, and they also have their own galleries to show the art. I said,
Right.
we are going to highlight local artists. And I think it's been a win-win for everybody.
Oh, so see, and you've highlighted some of my favorite artists in the Valley have been, at your space for an extended period of time. So good for you. So you guys have some stuff going on for Labor Day. What do you got going on for Labor Day?
Oh, we got a lot of fun stuff for Labor Day. So for Labor Day, let me refer to a couple notes here just so I get it correctly. So we've got a pool party on Saturday that's going to go from 11 to 5:30. We've got a poolside barbecue with our Chef Orlando will be at the grill. And we've got a Veuve Clicquot special going on. So I don't know quite what that's going to entail, but I think it's going to be pretty neat. You can also get a day bed if you want to reserve your spot there. And you can just contact the hotel for that. So then we have Sunday is our start or kickoff of Buffet Bottles and Beats. Sorry about that. And that is our buffet brunch that we're starting going into the fall so we can all eat a little bit more.
Yeah.
And we do have live music throughout. That takes place from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. And the price on that is $30 per person.
What a deal.
It's a really good deal, and it should be really special because we're going to be setting it up in the lounge area, which I'm sure you're familiar with, Michelle.
Yeah.
So it already has a big buffet table to start with.
So I'm definitely going to stop over and do a special edition of Doc and I having brunch over there at some point this fall for sure. I love that idea. For sure, we'll do that for you. And
let me know where you're
there's
going.
also creative programming happening as well, right? Not just Labor Day, but moving forward.
Oh, moving forward, we've got a great fall season and kicking it off with this coming first Friday. That will be September 6th next week. We've got us two artists who are just amazing. So I'm calling the show Pick and Play because it's all about guitar picks and other things that you play music on. So Mark Mans does amazing art using guitar picks, and most of his art is of rock guitarists. David Liazance does art using recycled tape cassettes, CDs, vinyl records, and his work is equally amazing. So that's going to be starting not this Friday, but next, and we'll have a meet and greet the artists from 6 to 8 p.m. But the show will be up through the month of September in the lounge.
Well, I definitely will stop by and see that and do a live broadcast. I love the idea. It's totally cool. So you guys are on the corner of Central and Portland.
On the corner of Central and Portland. It's the northwest corner. It's right at the Roosevelt Row Arts District light rail stop. So terribly convenient for everyone. And we have valet parking, so you don't even have to worry about finding a spot. And you know how difficult it can be sometimes to find parking in downtown now.
And it's awesome. So we have a little bit of time. We had talked about potentially kind of stopping in on this topic. The art scene downtown is changing right now, right? There's definitely some things that are different.
There's a lot of changes going on right now, but the art scene is constantly changing. I think with the whole redevelopment of Roosevelt Row, that's caused some changes. I think we're seeing some changes in our art institutions like the Phoenix Art Museum, the departure of Amada Cruz. But I think overall, the health of the art scene is very strong. You know, in times of trouble, artists get together and they're the ones who kind of carry the sword. I was just recently in LA for that Soul of the Nation show, and it was all about Black Power art. And I thought, wow, it really is the artist who talk about the change through their art. And I think we're going to start seeing more of that through the artists. Okay, we've lost some spaces, you know, due to the redevelopment, but I think new spaces will be popping up, and artists are clever. They'll find places to show their art.
Well, it's kind of like a half a dozen of one, six of the other. As a person who moved to the Roosevelt Artist District after the redevelopment, as I walk through where the new apartment buildings are, and I am in a new apartment building, which wasn't part of the Roosevelt Row area. I'm over by the Phoenix Art Museum. I'm really aware of the fact that if we want people to buy art, then you have to attract people that have revenue to buy.
Revenue. Hmm.
So when people are moving here from San Francisco and New York City and LA, they're wanting a vibrant downtown community where they can live, work, and play. So there, in order to make that happen, it's kind of a tipping zone. Something has to change to make that happen. So it's really a tough. You don't want to change what works and the art spaces and the things that were great about Roosevelt Road, but at the same time, you want to attract a population that are going to be the next collectors of the work that's being created here in Phoenix right now that deserves to be on the walls of people who can afford to buy it.
Right. I agree with you, Michelle. And especially on that point that I probably sell more art to our out of town guests than I do to locals.
Yeah,
Our out of town guests are just amazed not only at the quality of the art, but the pricing. They feel
right,
it's like, wow, this is really affordable. And I try to keep it that way at the hotel. I want the art to be approachable. So
right.
I've got pieces of art that are under $500 for an original, and I can go up to 20,000 with a Michael Marlowe piece that's absolutely spectacular. But it's something for everyone, and I try to do that also for our locals. That I bring in art that they may not have seen before, and we're all constantly trying that for the emerging artists. So here's a little thing I'm going to say. And we love working with the emerging artists, but it does require some work because they're not always ready to show art. They
Right.
don't always know the business of what it takes to be in art. But slowly, I think that's people are starting to mentor. And as a gallerist, I know that I'm doing it, and several other galleries are doing it as well.
Well, you and I have had this conversation over the years about business and art, where I went to art school and then I have a master's in business, and I've been very active in the health and fitness industry as well. So my business side, I always thought the two things were separate. Like my business, my brain was here, and my health and fitness brain was here, and my art brain was here. What I realized in the process of making and selling my own art is really my entrepreneur brain and my art brain are the same brain, because you're
Exactly.
creating something from nothing. So, that what I've come to realize is that I'm my widget. As a professional in the health industry, as an artist, as an entrepreneur, I'm the widget. I'm the thing that I'm selling. And that's what I think a lot of artists don't embrace, this idea that selling themselves and selling their art is somehow dirty. But at the same time, in order to earn a living, you have to sell your art.
Right.
It's
And
really a conundrum.
And it's one of those things that you realize that you've got to do both. And, I know a lot of artists are a little shy and hesitant about selling their art, but some are very good at it. And especially, when I'm doing a First Friday opening, I want the artists there. I want them to be talking about their art, the process, what they're thinking when they're doing it. And that really does help make the sale. I mean, I can say it, but to hear the artist say it, it gives it more validity. It's
Right.
genuine.
Well, I think that's one of the reasons why my work sells. Is that it usually is purchased by the person who I'm highlighting in my story. It sells because they like the story, and all art has a story. Every piece of art has a story. It might be different for the artist that you were talking about that works with guitar picks. Why he makes work that way and what it speaks to and how it resonates with him is his story. How I make my work is my story. But I think that people who buy original art love the idea that they're not just buying something that's just an inanimate object. It's a living, breathing thing that has a story that's actually attached to a human heart and to human hands and to human mind and a human spirit. And that's what makes art, original art, so magical. It's
Right.
the story behind the art and the artist behind the art that makes it magical.
It's almost like creating a child that, you've gone through all this process of putting it together and then kind of nurturing it through till the final. And it's so like a beautiful process. And I tell artists, I really want you to explore different avenues, but I want you to always continue doing what you love. So anyway, that's kind of my take with art and Foundry. I do really try to keep the art approachable. I want people to come in and not feel like they're in a museum, that they can't look closely. I don't want them to touch, but I really want it to be kind of fun, lighthearted, like our Burt Reynolds that's
Oh
behind
my
the front
goodness,
desk.
it's hysterical. It's hysterical. We just had I have a group of women that get together every 6 weeks or so. We call ourselves the Hot Tamales. One of my friends said, "Oh, we're a bunch of hot tamales," and so I named our dinner group the Hot Tamales. And we recently did a dinner at the Foundry,
Oh,
and we
nice.
picture with the not near Burt Reynolds with the dinosaur.
Mm-hmm. Yes, our
So
T-Rex.
I
Our
think that's super, super fun. And all of it, we were wearing purple and yellow and white, so it would completely work together. So it was awesome. Well, Mike, I want to thank you for your time today. I want to thank you for the service. I want to thank you for being a trooper too, because just prior to this interview, your telephone had a little bit of an issue with its camera, so you actually can't see me right now. You've been winging it by talking to the back of your phone, not sure if you can see me or not. So thank you very much for being a trooper and for telling the story of the Foundry, for telling your story. I wish you the best of luck with your care, and I'll be sure to stop in and see you on First Friday and give you a big hug.
Please do, and thank you, Michelle. This has been a delight.
Thanks a lot, and we'll see you soon.
See you soon. Bye.
All right, everybody. Well, that's a wrap on episode 35. This is segment 3, the art and fashion segment. You can come back again next week for Relentless Talk Radio, where we'll be talking with 2 other Relentless rock stars from 2:30 to 3:30-ish about health and fitness and art and fashion again next week. Thanks a lot, and we'll see you again soon.